What generally acclaimed actor do you think is overrated? Jared Leto. He's the closest thing we have to a real-life Kirk Lazarus. I honestly feel like everything he does is for the express purpose of trying to win Oscars. And some of the stuff he does for role preparation is just so stupid. When he had to gain weight for Chapter 27, he did it by eating buckets of ice cream mixed with soy sauce and wound up giving himself gout, for a movie that was critically panned and bombed at the box office. And the thing that pisses me off most about it is that, while I'm not a dietitian, I know enough about nutrition to know that adding the soy sauce was completely unnecessary. His off-screen antics on the set of Suicide Squad cemented him as thoroughly unlikable for me. You did all this gross and insane stuff for the most unnecessary and forgettable version of a character we've seen portrayed incredibly numerous times. Side note, he is the only thing preventing Blade Runner 2049 from being a perfect movie. Mark Wahlberg. Sure, he's got muscles, but he's not tough. And whoever thought of making him a nerdy type of guy in Transformers and/or that Shyamalan movie? We're smoking something. Also, George Clooney. He's handsome. That's about it. American Dad roasted him best. Remember when Mark Wahlberg beat an Asian guy half to death and got away with it? Then forgave himself without actually attempting to reach out to the guy. IDK if he's overrated or even considered acclaimed. But Chevy Chase is so great at playing the role of an asshole because he doesn't even have to act. That's apparently just how he is according to people he's worked with. Yeah, Bill Murray, who plays both assholes, normally, and some good guys, hates Chevy Chase. He is said to be a self-centered butthole who only does it for awards and being a pampered actor. Gwyneth Paltrow! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I think her personal life and business taint her and remove from her actual acting ability. She also seems to have done a lot of ordinary films. When she is in a quality film she can be excellent. The talented Mr. Ripley or Royal Tenenbaums for example. Jennifer Lawrence. Actress but still applies edit. There ya go. I think she's great, but she was terrible as Mystique, which I think has kind of lessened her reputation given the visibility of the role. Rebecca Romijn nailed the part about 1,000 times better. Check out Winter's Bone. I believe her first major film this year. It's always interesting to see someone so young handle such a heavy role. I'm pretty sure that is what launched her. Emma Watson. I dunno, she's just not that good at acting. Her performance in The Circle was meh. I agree. I'm a Harry Potter fan and I respect her as a person, with her activism and whatnot. But I don't think she's a very good actor. I mean, Beauty and the Beast was pretty bad and her straight face didn't help. Beauty and the Beast being bad wasn't all her fault. They should have cast somebody younger as Belle, who is supposed to be around 16 to 18 IRC. They didn't need to shove in the backstory about Belle's Monsieur WTF was up with her yellow ball gown. Like seriously, why? It didn't look, at least to me, period appropriate, nor did it really match the one in the animated movie. It was like they shoved the two things, period appropriate and animated film version, together, but badly. And they really did not need to shoehorn in the bit at the end with Lofi being gay. Just that way. The only good part of the movie was the Beast singing Evermore. Honestly, I disagree with them needing a younger actress. But one thing I did like was that they added way too much auto-tune. First of all, don't cast someone who can't sing in a singing role. I don't care how famous they are. It isn't worth it. Secondly, they didn't even need that much. I'm sure Emma Watson sings fine without any auto-tune, so they could've, at the very least, not out so much on that it's painfully noticeable. I'm mainly talking about the very beginning of the first song because I don't actually remember most of the songs. But the point still stands. This is all, of course, ignoring the glaring criticism that we don't need the exact same damn film remade but slightly worse. Belle is legitimately one of the hardest female roles vocally. They needed someone who could sing. She was the worst part of Little Women by far. She's fine, but next to people like Saoirse Ronan and Florence Pugh, she's just not in their league. Will Ferrell. Every movie where he's the lead character, it just feels like he's trying way too hard and I don't care for it. He is great in The Other Guys. That whole film is cast really well. If I shout louder I'm funny, right? It's so convincing. I heard that in his voice and now I can't hear anything else. IDK. Step Brothers was hilarious. If anyone says Ewan McGregor, you're going to hell. Everyone who acts in a movie for teenagers produced by Netflix, especially when they're 10 years older than the character they play. They aren't generally actors that are acclaimed to begin with though. So doesn't really fit the question. Ben Affleck. Same miserable, self-serving slimeball in movies that he is in life. Which is why The Accountant is actually okay. Although it's J.K. Simmons and Cynthia Dare Robinson who really carry it. J.K. Simmons is such a solid actor. He's really good. Jason Statham is sure he hasn't been in anything good since Snatch. In pretty much every movie he's an ex-cop or spy trying to put his past behind him before he gets pulled into a life-threatening, hostage-style situation. Usually involving a family member or former mentor. Yeah. He's out for retribution, we get it? He was really funny in Spy. I get your point. But does anyone think Statham is a good actor? My impression is that he is well aware he is playing in silly but fun movies most of the time. Exactly. For me, Jason Statham films are my go-to when looking for a dumb action flick. And nothing more. They don't require any thinking whatsoever. I just sit back and watch this dude, who's always pissed about everything, beat up other guys for 2 hours. And I'm pretty sure that's what 90% of his audience is like. And that he is well aware of that fact. Unpopular, I know, but Keanu Reeves. He seems like a cool and genuinely nice guy and all, but honestly he isn't that good of an actor. Emo. I teach film classes and I regularly have to defend a particular stable of actors against accusations that they're really bad. Because usually it's just because students haven't seen them in the right movie. Think Nicolas Cage is bad? Go watch him in Raising Arizona, Moonstruck, Leaving Las Vegas, Lord of War or Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Think Kristen Stewart sucks? Go watch her in Personal Shopper or Clouds of Sils Maria. Keanu Reeves though, he's really hard to defend. He can do stoner idiot well, Bill and Ted, and stoic badass well, The Matrix, John Wick, but there's not much he can do outside of that. I use clips from his performance in Dracula as an example of bad acting, and while he managed to semi-successfully stumble through Gus Van Sant's semi-Shakespeare dialogue in My Own Private Idaho, nobody should have thought it was a good idea to cast him in an actual Shakespeare adaptation. Much Ado About Nothing. Casting him as the Buddha was not a wise choice either. He's a very bland actor. People like him for his personality. I loved the dude, but damn, he is one of the most hollow actors I've seen. He has the acting range of a plank of wood. Plus he runs funny. I think Keanu is very good at a very narrow range of characters. Overall, though, outside that range his performances are a little stale. Ryan Gosling always has this annoying smug smile in every movie. He was well cast in Drive and The Nice Guys. Everything else I've seen him in just irritates me. That's just his face. I liked his role in Crazy Stupid Love. That's all I can tolerate of him because the whole film is just funny AF. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not that good an actor. He plays the same guy in nearly all of his movies and now he's in every Hollywood film that gets mediocre reviews. I am 80% less likely to watch a film if he appears in it just because I'm sick of seeing his face. Also the case with Kevin Hart. He's the contemporary answer to what Arnold and Stallone were in the 80s and 90s. Charming action star without a lot of range. but good for summer action films. Dave Bautista is typecast the same. Well, Dave Bautista is in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and does a great job at making us laugh and believe the role. Whereas in my opinion, I believe there is no depth to Dwayne, and he seems like a product of a corporate board designed to entertain masses instead of an actor who cares for the role and wants to make it believable. I do agree with the comparison to Arnie and Stallone, but in no way, shape or form are any of his movies on the same level as Arnie and Stallone's hits. Jumanji and Central Intelligence are merely kicking at the heels of Rocky, Rambo, Predator and Terminator. Zooey Deschanel. I've always thought her acting is just kind of flat. And I get that to a certain extent. That's part of why people like her. But she always has zero intonation and sounds bored. I liked her before she was Zoe. She bought into herself too much. Assassination of Jesse James and Elf. She's not too bad in those when she's not being her caricature. Timothée Chalamet. ISTG. He only has one facial expression he can make. And he isn't that cute. I'm sorry. I just don't understand this guy. I've seen so many people say how handsome he is, but I don't get the hype. He looks like a pointy Italian dress shoe. He's got that heroin chic looks, which is so off-putting. Tom Cruise. Dude basically never changes his role and is probably crazy. Yet everyone loves his movies. Magnolia? Tropic Thunder? Jerry Maguire. Like, I don't think you understand the range he has. Sure, he takes a lot of action roles. Because money. You'd do it too, don't act like you wouldn't. But he's far from a bad actor. He actually shines in all of those movies and is a huge part of why I love them. Even the actions movies he makes are pretty damn amazing, and he is definitely part of why they are successful. Plus, I heard he's an absolutely fantastic worker and will even do some of his own stunts. Which again I give him credit for. Disclaimer for the reactionary individuals. I am allowed to both think Tom Cruise is a horrible person, which he is, and also call him a good actor. This is not me endorsing him in any way. It is me giving my subjective opinion on the single topic of his acting capabilities. This is not me saying Tom Cruise is an amazing person. Born on the 4th of July and Rain Man 2. Kubrick liked him enough to put him in Eyes Wide Shut. I love him in Collateral. Jesse Eisenberg. I still can't understand why someone chose him to play Lex Luthor. He's a little limited in his range. I think he's a good actor, but he seems to be the same character in most of his movies I've seen. Jeff Goldblum. Sure, I don't see him as the characters he plays, I only see Jeff Goldblum. But I mean, he essentially plays himself in every movie. This is a positive, not a negative. Top-tier actor Adam Sandler. I don't think he is overrated as an actor. I just think he does bad movies. Literally. The guy has made his fortune on bad movies. Which is disappointing because his serious roles are actually pretty good. His acting in the Meyerowitz Stories and Uncut Gems were amazing. I think he is actually a great actor. But some films he does much worse than others. And also has bad scripting sometimes. Adam Sandler movies hold a special place in my heart, having been a 90s teen. Keanu Reeves. Gunshot. John Booth seems like a real dick. His one line in My American Cousin seemed really shoehorned in. Jennifer Lawrence. She's become everything that people have spent years joking about Meryl Streep being. Just nominate her by default. She got big because of Hunger Games, and then she got cast in stuff she wasn't right for. She's like a 6/10 actor. How many of these are actually acclaimed actors though? Very few. People are confusing generally acclaimed with popular. Rock. Dwayne Johnson is not a critically acclaimed actor. Jennifer Lawrence is. People gush over Chris Pratt. But he's just simply a bad actor. I re-watched Zero Dark 30 last night and every line makes me cringe. He doesn't sound natural when he delivers lines. As Andy in Parks and Rec. He's great. He just shouldn't do drama. Salman Khan. I hate how that dude literally ended careers over petty spats. Jennifer Lawrence. She was horrible in Hunger Games and her acting is like community theater productions. She was it until someone told her so. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.